You have lived through years you can never remember. You laughed, cried, recognized familiar faces, and formed your very first bond with the world. Those moments shaped the person you would become, yet they remain completely out of reach. Nearly every human shares this forgotten beginning. Scientists call it infantile amnesia, but the truth is far stranger. What if your earliest memories didn't disappear at all, but were erased by the very process that made you who you are? Send the next outline section. The mystery becomes even stranger when you look at what babies are actually capable of. Long before they speak their first word, babies are already decoding the world around them. They recognize familiar faces within days, prefer the voices they have heard before birth, and learn to read expressions that signal comfort, danger, or affection. Their brains quietly absorb the rhythms of language, laying the foundation for conversations they have not yet begun. Every smile, every touch, every repeated routine becomes part of an invisible map of the world. These early experiences shape trust, attachment, and the way they respond to people for years to come. So babies clearly can remember. They learn astonishing amounts in an incredibly short time, which makes the real mystery impossible to ignore. If babies can remember so much, why does almost all of it vanish later? At first, the explanation seems surprisingly simple. The ability to store vivid, long-term memories depends heavily on a small structure deep inside the brain called the hippocampus. In adults, it helps weave together experiences into the stories we later call memories. But in a baby, that system is still under construction. Different kinds of memory also mature on different timelines. Long before children can remember their first birthday, they are already mastering habits, recognizing familiar people, and building powerful emotional associations. They learn how the world feels before they can remember specific moments within it. In other words, babies are not failing to remember. They are remembering in a completely different way. But that explanation leaves one unsettling question unanswered. Because even as the infant brain is developing, something far stranger is happening inside it, something that may actually erase the very memories it is trying to create. As strange as it sounds, your earliest memories may have been lost because your brain was doing exactly what it was supposed to do. During infancy, the brain grows at an astonishing pace. Millions of new neurons are formed, while countless connections are strengthened, rearranged, or removed. It is one of the most intense periods of construction the human brain will ever experience. But there is a hidden cost. Every new connection changes the network that stores information. As fresh experiences flood in, the fragile pathways holding early memories can become disrupted or overwritten. It's like trying to preserve a drawing on a canvas that is constantly being stretched and repainted. In this view, forgetting is not evidence that the infant brain is weak. It may be evidence that it is becoming more powerful, which leads to an extraordinary possibility. Could forgetting itself be a feature of human development rather than a flaw? What if the greatest assumption about your childhood is completely wrong? For decades, people believed that your earliest memories simply vanished, erased forever by the passage of time. But a growing body of research suggests a far more intriguing possibility. Those memories may not be gone at all. They may have become inaccessible. The detailed story fades, but its influence remains. You may never consciously remember the warmth of being held as an infant, the fear of being separated from a caregiver, or the countless moments that taught your brain what was safe and what was not. Yet those experiences can still shape how you trust, connect, and respond to the world decades later. In other words, your first years may still be quietly guiding your emotions and decisions, even if you cannot replay a single scene from them. If that is true, then infantile amnesia is not the disappearance of the past. It is the hidden persistence of a past you can no longer consciously reach. Send the next outline section. There is another piece of the puzzle that is even more surprising. To remember an event years later, the brain needs more than the event itself. It needs someone to place at the center of that memory. A lasting autobiographical memory is not just a record of what happened, it is a record of what happened to you. But during infancy, that you is still taking shape. Babies experience joy, fear, curiosity, and comfort, yet they have not fully developed a stable sense of personal identity. Without a clear concept of me, experiences have no enduring narrative to attach themselves to. As identity slowly forms, memory changes with it, which leads to a profound question that neuroscientists and philosophers still debate. Did our memories create the person we became? Or did the person have to exist before memories could truly last? Then, something remarkable happened. As children learned to speak, their memories began to change. Language gave experiences a structure they had never possessed before. A frightening moment became the day I fell. A joyful afternoon became my birthday. Words transformed scattered experiences into stories that could be told, repeated, and remembered. Parents played a quiet but powerful role in this process. By asking questions, recalling family events, and retelling shared moments, they helped children strengthen memories that might otherwise have faded away. Before language, life was lived in flashes of sensation and emotion. After language, those same experiences could be woven into a personal history. But this reveals an even greater mystery. Adults forget thousands of experiences every single day. So, if forgetting is so common, why does the brain choose to remember anything at all? Forgetting may seem like a weakness, but the human brain evolved to see it differently. A mind that remembered every single moment would not become more powerful. It would become overwhelmed. Every sound, every image, every meaningless detail would compete for attention, creating a flood of information impossible to manage. Instead, the brain constantly makes choices. It keeps what matters. It strengthens useful patterns. It removes the details that no longer serve a purpose. Forgetting creates space for learning, adaptation, and better decision-making. Even memories from childhood may disappear because the brain is building a system designed for survival rather than perfect recording. The ability to forget is not the opposite of intelligence. It may be one of the reasons intelligence exists at all. Perhaps the greatest strength of the human mind isn't remembering everything, it is knowing what to let go. The most surprising truth about infancy is that you never truly left it behind. Even though you cannot remember those first years, they quietly became the foundation beneath everything that followed. The bond you formed with your caregivers, the comfort you experienced, and the moments that created fear or security all helped shape the way your brain understood the world. Early attachment influenced how you approach relationships. Emotional safety helped build confidence. Stress during those fragile years could leave lasting effects on the body and mind. These memories may be invisible, but their fingerprints remain. Your earliest experiences continue guiding your reactions, your choices, and the way you connect with others. And that leads to one final realization about who you really are. Every person carries a hidden beginning. Before the memories, before the stories, before the person you recognize as yourself, there was a child experiencing the world for the first time. Those years may have disappeared from your conscious mind, but they never disappeared from who you became. The brain did not simply lose your childhood. It transformed it into something deeper, a foundation beneath your thoughts, emotions, and identity. Perhaps the mystery is not that babies forget. Perhaps forgetting is the very process that allows us to grow beyond the child we once were. Your first years were never meant to be a collection of memories you could replay. They became something far more powerful. They became you.